Hello and welcome to another episode of Pivotal Moments with Lolita. And today we are going to have another great conversation. I am very excited about my guest today. I have Jeannine, who is the founder of Harriet's Book Club.
It's all right. They know what you meant.
Exactly. It is like a club, right?
Oh my God, it's just so many things.
Right, exactly. Well, we are going to have a good time. I'm excited. Let me bring her into the conversation. Welcome, Jeannine. Like I said, I did that almost botched up introduction, but why don't you tell us a little bit more about who you are and what you've got going on?
Yes, well, thank you, Lolita, for having us on the show. This means a lot. Like I was saying to you before we started recording, to be seen and to be heard in these times, it could be hard to do, right? But the fact that folks like you give us an opportunity to share your platforms, it allows us to be relevant and to be seen and to be heard in a time like this. So I appreciate you so much. My name is Jeannine, Jeannine A. Cook. And like you were saying earlier, you're here at Harriet's Bookshop as we speak. That's where I am. And Harriet's Bookshop is located in the Fishtown section of Philadelphia. And we are a bookshop. And I'm like, we are a bookshop, but that celebrates women authors, women artists, and women activists. And at the center of all of that it really is about bringing folks together, but challenging ourselves, challenging one another to really think about what this thing called freedom means and how we plan on getting ourselves there.
Yeah. I love it. And it's so important for so many different reasons as a community, as a culture, in the times that we're in. So I love what you're doing. And it's just been awesome. Yeah. Watching it, through social media, just watching it grow and all of that. So yes. So let's get into pivoting.
Yeah, we couldn't have done it without you, without the folks who are listening, without the folks who buy books, without the folks who send letters of encouragement. Because there were a million different reasons for us to stop. Yeah. There were a million different reasons for us to just be like, we can't do it anymore. But there are a lot of folks out there that are making sure that that's not the case and have been rooting for us and cheering for us and supporting us in word and in deed.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I'm super excited. Congratulations. And so yeah, let's get into pivoting. So obviously, this show is to talk about those pivotal moments. So what did you want to share with us today about your pivotal moment?
Oh my goodness. And so it's really difficult for me to pick one pivotal moment. And I know many people probably come on the show and say that to you. But I think that one of the major ones in my life was before I started the bookshop, I actually was this close to leaving Philly altogether, and was feeling like, I've been here for all these years. I've tried, and the things that I wanted to do haven't always panned out the way that I would like them to pan out. And I was on my way out, like literally was down south, back where I'm from in Virginia, and it was just like, I'm just over it. And there is something that I learned later. I went to the beach in Norfolk and I saw these dolphins, and I was raised in Virginia. I'd never seen dolphins in Norfolk. Yeah. And I saw all these dolphins. There was so many of them. And I don't know why I feel like that was a part of my pivotal moment, but it gave me this feeling of like you're not done. You know what I mean? You're not done. You're not done. And my sister said something, if you're not done, if you're not dead, you're not done. And so that's really interesting, because you're not done kept coming back to me. While I was down there, I was going to look at a house. And so I'm looking at the house. I started getting the bubble guts in my stomach. I was like, oh no. I go upstairs and I'm telling you the full story, because I go upstairs to get away from everybody, like, oh my gosh, right? Yeah. And I'm in these people's bathroom, and a voice clear as day was just like, you're going back to Philly and you're opening a bookstore. And I was just like, really? And I was just like, how, the how almost came out my mouth. And then it was just like, nah, the real lesson here is obedience. And things just, doors started swinging open, things started falling into place, things that I thought were barriers were actually stepping stones and there for my greater good. And here we are, right? Like this one little thing that I thought was gonna be this little tiny thing, we've ended up in all these places, Oprah's magazine, we've ended up, you know, meeting like all like New York Times bestsellers, you know. So it's no telling when you're obedient to the thing that you feel calling you.
Wow, that gave me wow. And I'm
it's wild.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're sharing that, because you know, I think a lot of people have those moments, right, where they, like you said, that voice speaks, but so often we shut that voice down. We, you know, we start to give in to the fears and the hows and the whys and all of that. But you're
not yet and not ready, and why me? I had a friend tell me, you know, when just like she was like, I'm getting a raise on my job, but I keep asking myself, why me? And I was like, that's so interesting. Like, you're getting what you want. You're getting the miracle you asked for, and you don't believe that it's for you. Wow. How interesting is that for lack of self-confidence, lack of self-esteem, lack of self-worth, right? Yeah. And I encourage folks to give themselves a chance, you know?
Yeah, wow. And, you know, and you may be planning to talk about this, but hearing your story like this, it is so interesting that the name of your bookstore is about a woman. It's named after a woman who was obedient to that voice, who, you know, who didn't give in. Oh my goodness.
Same. I mean, and here's this part that I want to put in that I didn't find out until the day of the opening. So I come back. You know, Harriet's, I always knew I wanted to do something with Harriet. Like my book, which I wrote before I opened the bookshop, is called Conversations with Harriet. Her and I have been in dialogue for some time. But when I got back, there was a woman who was creating a play about Harriet Tubman here in Philly at the very same time that we were opening the store, at the same time that the movie had just came out that I did not know about, at the same time that this museum was opening in New Jersey that I did not know about. So it was like all of this beautiful synchronicity. And so I'm speaking to Lorene, who I now call Auntie, but at the time I didn't know her at all. And she was like, you know, Jeannine, I went to see the play and there was all of these dolphin sounds in the play. And I was like, what is that about? And she was like, you know, they say that Harriet actually had a really close relationship with dolphins.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
And I got that. They said that Harriet believed that our ancestors, and this is like something I've heard over time, that our ancestors embodied these dolphins because like they were coming through the Middle Passage and they were going like, so when they decided to jump as opposed to heading over to this land, they became one with the dolphins in some way. Wow. And so like that's a story that goes back and back and back and back. But I'm just like, that's so interesting because I'd never seen dolphins in Norfolk until this day. And I do believe that her and I have been in great dialogue for a very long time, since I was probably about 8. Yeah, and so here I am, you know, maybe that was her voice that was like, you opening this bookstore now. But whatever it was, we stand, and I couldn't be more honored to do it under her name.
That is beautiful, beautiful. You know, so
yeah, she's all that.
Yeah. So, you know, we talk about the pivotal moment itself, right? And those lessons learned, that the unchangeable things that we learn, the reason why we make these pivots. So what would you say you learned from this that was that unchangeable thing in your life that everything must center around that?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. So the first part, and it's in my email signature, and it's something that my sister actually gave me from Wayne Dyer a long time ago, which was everything in life is unfolding in perfect order, right? Everything is unfolding in perfect order. And sometimes people get irritated when I say that to them because they're like, well, what about this? And what about that? COVID, the pandemic, blah, 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 George Floyd. And I continue to assert that everything is unfolding in perfect order, just as it should. And that has been really helpful to me because even the things that feel like, what is this? And why is this? And, you know, like, it just doesn't, these parts that don't feel like they make sense, you know, the friends that I don't have now that I had then, you know what I mean? Like why? And it's because everything's unfolding in perfect order. And I think the second part to that is a piece that she just gave me very recently. I was like, oh, I've graduated, you know, now I get some new information. And she was just like, so the second half of that is, and the entire, everything that's going on is conspiring in my favor. Woo! And I don't know why, that gets me every time whenever I think about the fact that everything is conspiring in my favor. And so even the things that are like, that feel like, why would somebody, or, you know, even that is a part of the beautiful constellation of making sure Jeannine gets where Jeannine's going. And so it helps me a whole lot. So anybody listening, of course, you, Lily, take that on. Both of those two have been pivotal.
Oh my goodness. Woo! You know what? I knew this interview was going to be intense. I just knew it, and I'm loving it. And I'm like, hold on. You can get through this.
Yeah, we not. Oh my goodness. My beautiful friend has this collection, a book collection, and in it she had like these hymns from the 1900s, and there was this song. And I'm not a singer, but the song was with me. It was just like, I'm not gonna let nobody turn me around. And I just think of what it must have meant for someone like Harriet to sing a song like that, where she's not gonna let anyone turn her around, and then, you know, bringing it into our now moment and thinking about the same, right? Like there is no one, no weapon, right? And so I'm looking at whatever they might come, right? Folks sent us these terrible emails. Folks, you know, have harassed us in different ways. Folks run up in here, we don't like your logo, or why'd you put that on, you know, whatever reason, that, you know, folks have things to say about whatever they have things to say about. But I am at a place where I'm just not gonna let anyone turn me around.
Wow.
Nope.
Woo, well, let's see. What else do I have to say?
It's not happening.
Wow. Nope. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I always get to the point where I talk about adjustments, because I think that's important too. You know, we've talked about just, you know, the why, which I really believe, you know, when I talk about pivotal moments, it's really because it's getting to the why. But with adjustments, a lot of times that's a different tone. That's more of adapting to something that's uncomfortable. So can you share with us when you've had to make the adjustment rather than the pivot? What was that like?
So I think the adjustment comes in when there's an expectation that something should be a certain way. And then it's just like, oh, it's not that way, but I have to continue regardless. And I think that one of our biggest adjustments has come with this pandemic, right? We opened in February. The pandemic, like we were told, we had to shut down in March. So we basically had 6 weeks where we were open. And even in that, all that came out of that was way more than I could have imagined, and probably way more than would have happened if it would have just been another standard year. And so I think the adjustment has been like, you know, I don't know if you know this, but all summer long, all spring long, we just continued to take all of the furniture that we had in the bookshop outside, and we would build a bookshop on the sidewalk. And people were like, what are you doing? And now, mind you, this is before the restaurant started it. I say we kicked it off because there was no, you know, we were taking bookshelves outside on our backs, and setting books up and saying, folks, you know, doing an honor system, you know, grab whatever book it is that you like, and, you know, you shoot us a Cash App or a Venmo. Like, so that's a huge adjustment. It's been, so all I really know is like, adjust. You know, none of these moments are your moments, right? Like you get to be fluid in this moment, and not feel as though like things have to go the way you expected them to go. Because I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to say we have to do another shutdown, or if they're going to say we need, some other random thing might occur. And so adjustments is something that I've become very familiar with, and I actually really enjoy. Because I'm one of the people, I just happen to be a person that likes to change things up anyway. So if you come to the bookshop, or if anyone's ever come here, you've never been here and seen it the same way twice, because it's always in a state of adjustment.
And I mean, it just fits, and it makes so much sense, because like you said, when you're being obedient, when you're seeing these things unfold really beyond your control but in your favor, why not adjust, right? Why not love it? It's like, okay, now what's going to unfold for me to benefit me with this adjustment? Wow.
Well, especially since everything's conspiring in my favor, it's like, oh, so this too is on my behalf. Oh, well, thank you. Wow, I know. When it's like, oh, okay, I see you. And so it's pretty dynamic, and it's awesome, because I think I find myself at times asking, like, well, all these people with all of these things, like, why am I all of a sudden, like, there were all these bookstores and da 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 da, and it's just like, well, Jeannine, like, there's a level of obedience that you're going to have to get to in order to even go to the next level. You're not even where you think, right? Like, you think that this is something, but there's more, right? But that level to get to that more place, that level of practice, that level of, like, really taking yourself to the next place is not even there yet, right? Like, are you pushing yourself as hard as you can push yourself? Are you resting as much as you need to rest? Like, are you writing as much as you really say you want to write? Are you know what I mean? Like, there's parts of this, there's more to this, I believe, if I continue in obedience.
Oh, so beautiful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, so as we come to the end of the conversation, what do you want to leave with people that, you've already dropped so much, but what would you say that you want to leave with the viewers directly to them from you?
Yeah, so the thing that I've been thinking about the most recently is this idea of land and autonomy, and recognizing that we're in what I consider to be a very strange land, and recognizing that we can be in a place but not be of that place. And what I would really like to see happen this year is for more folks that look like me, that have had very similar experiences to me in this country, for us to have our own land and our own autonomy on that land. Because there's no way that I can continue to trust people who have not done their part to repair a very damaged relationship. I think the best that I can do is to, on my own crop, right, in my own circumference, raise up a tribe, a group, a family that is ethically in alignment with what I'm in alignment with. There's a lot going on out there that I'm not ethically in alignment with. And I will not align with it, right? I will not continue to hold up systems that are highly oppressive. And so when groups are asking, what could we do to make sure people understand that Black lives matter to us and to my organization or my company or my institution, what I'm letting them know is what you could do is come up off some land, come up off a building, come up off some space so that we can have our own space, and then give us some autonomy over here so that we can do what we want to do on this space, because we've tried your way and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I know that was a mouthful.
No, I love it. It reminds me the Virginia Black Business Directory. They have a very similar mentality, when it from a different point of view, but about the Black dollar. And one of the things when I sat down with one of the co-founders, and she was saying that our culture, our we are one of the only ones that do not circulate the Black dollar. We don't come together and have our own land and business and things like that, which is our heritage, you know. So it's right in line with what you're saying, you know. In other cultures you see big cities you see it, you know, they have Chinatown or this place or places that at least even in just those small pockets are designed to bring that culture there and bring that autonomy. So I think what you're saying,
because when we have our own, we can make our own rules, our own decisions about how things are run. Right now, I think there are a lot of things. I mean, like obviously, right? You're looking at the way that these things are going here in this place and recognizing that, yo, I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that in no way. And that's not what's best for my children or my children's children or my children's children's children. And this is the time to do something about that. And so all those people who claim that they care so much about us, I'm giving them a very clear, measurable thing that they can do to prove how much you care. And people don't like that. This is more than an email. This is more than a social media post. This is more than an Instagram request or whatever. Like, this is like, here is a measurable thing that you can do. Your organization, your company, your like whatever. Because a lot of these folks have eaten off of us for a very long time, and then claim to want to do something about that.
Yeah.
So here's the beginning of reparations. Here's the beginning of repair.
Ooh. Well, there you go. Look, this thing is smoking.
Well, you know, yeah. And when people don't like it, I say, well, that's what Harriet told me to say. I don't. Right? It came straight from Harriet. Harriet said, you know, she had her own land. She was an entrepreneur on her own land. Yeah. And that's how she ended up being able to serve people until she was 90, you know.
Wow.
So
I love
we'll
it.
See.
Yep, there you go. Well, thank you once again for joining the conversation. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Okay, well, I will definitely be having you back. This has been too much fun.
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, and I can't.
And I know your book. You have a book, and I don't want to like over promote. Like, I don't want to jump in, but I think that you should. You know, as you're talking to me, I'm a bookshop. You know, we want to promote. You have your book, and at least one copy is here at the bookshop now. But we plan on having more. Yes. And so, if folks are looking for your book, I want them to know that they come here, and we will support that vision. The month of February, I am attempting to do a IG live every single day in the month of February with different authors. We'll see if we do it, but we'll do what we can. Yeah. But I would love for you to be one of those authors. So just something to think about to promote your book on our platform, of course. You know, and so this is it. You know, I think there's a literary movement happening across the country, and I think that that's no coincidence.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. I'm first of all, I'm honored. Like I've just, especially the book Celebrating a Legacy is exactly about the legacy of my grandmother, my aunt, my mother. And I just feel like your bookshop is exactly it's about our legacy, about our history, about the culture. So to have a book in the shop in itself is just, I was in tears.
It's very important to us. It's very important to us, and that's a custom and a tradition that far outlives what happens here on this particular mound of soil, right? Like our ability to honor those who came before us and stand on their shoulders and complete the mission.
Wow, beautiful. Well, thank you for all you do. Congratulations. I can't wait to have you back. And hopefully, I would absolutely love to be on one of your Instagram lives. That would be very awesome. But once again, just congratulations on your success.
Thank you.
I can't wait to see
and congratulations to you. This is us. This is our success. This is us.
Yes.
And this is our time. This is our time. So let us go forth. You know, I'm always, you know, like saying we're guided and we're protected, and so let us just go forth and do what it is that we know we're called to do.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead because we'll be talking all night. But
sorry. All right, everybody. Thank y'all.
Yes, I'll see you in another episode. Yes, and we will see you next time on Pivotal Moments with the Leader.